Atiku Abubakar continues to push anti-Tinubu policy campaign. As he says, if elected, he will reopen the border as part of his economic agenda. And governors of the APC are pushing hard for the re-election of President Bolaji in the 2027 election. Hello everyone, welcome to the program. This is Politics Today, live on Channel Television. I'm Sean Kimale, live for you here in our Abuja studio. Let's begin with an uneasy moment in Osun State in the post-election era. Now, the APC campaign organization is asking the Inspector General of Police, Mr. Tunji Disu, to immediately arrest and investigate the deputy minority leader of the Senate and the senator representing Osun West Senatorial District, Senator Lere Oyewumi. The party is alleging that he is complicit in the killing of members of the APC and the recent murder of innocent citizens at the Naira and Kobo Junction in Ikire. The campaign council says the latest development is surrounding the violent incident at the Naira and Kobo Junction where two innocent citizens were killed after known associates and thugs linked to Senator Lere Oyewumi disarmed a police officer on duty and used his rifle to fire shots. It's further strengthening the party's argument that the concerns over violence in the state is involving the party, Accord Party, and Senator Lere Oyewumi is involved in the political violence in the state. We told you yesterday that the governors of the APC had met with President Bola Tinubu. This is coming amidst the controversy around the campaign council list, which was earlier published, and there are infighting that some members of the party are alleging over some of the names omitted and some of the roles being given. The governors had gone to meet President Bola Tinubu after the NEC meeting at the presidential villa. And after the meeting, some of the governors are pushing hard for the re-election of President in 2027.
We had an audience with the President, and we spoke basically on two issues. One, politics, and the other, governance. Governance, which took most of the time, is about how to reduce the cost of living in Nigeria, is the cost of transportation, food security, agriculture, bring prosperity to the people, ensure that the dividends of the various reforms we have gotten over years trickles down to the people so that the people can feel it and carry out an impact assessment and also identify areas of likely improvements. That was done, and all the governors, all the states were very happy about that. Second to it is the politics, the upcoming election, the constitution of the Presidential Election Council, which the President informed us officially, and we are in total agreement. What we have agreed with Mr. President is that he will be delivered. All the APC governors are solidly behind Mr. President. To that extent, governors are expected to deliver their states, and they know who is wearing the shoe knows where is pinching him. So the governors will identify what is required to carry out a successful and a colorful campaign in the various states.
My own amazement is actually the amount of knowledge that Mr. President has about gas in this country. You know, the President discussed at length about gas utilization, especially in the area of CNG, and that Mr. President has committed a lot of resources, you know, when it comes to exactly how much, you know, it is going to to invest when it comes to gas utilization in the country. So those are the type of things that Mr. President has discussed in details, and Mr. President continued to emphasize the unity of the party, the unity of the country, a reduction of poverty in this country, and what the governors must do to ensure that we do everything possible, to reduce poverty and to make sure that we carry everybody along. But like the chairman has mentioned clearly, the governors should, because the elections are actually at the states. Elections are not in Abuja. They are at the states. So the governors take the lead, of this campaign at the various states, and the campaign council is going to be looked into, and they will do whatever it is that needs to be done.
Those are the governors of the APC after the meeting with President Bolaji. There's so much to talk about. There are those who think that the Tinubu government is being a failure and that they do not deserve to be re-elected. With that said, what are the defenses of this government? We're pushing it forward and they say there are a lot being done, but the opposition doesn't agree with that. And they're saying everything that is being done is about politics, a knee-jerk approach to everything. And we'll be dissecting some of these issues. One of the prominent opposition figures will be joining me tonight on this matter. But before we get into the conversation, let me serve you with some of your political roundup stories.
Vice President Kashim Shettima is advocating for Africa to harness industrial growth as part of efforts to reduce security threats around the continent. The Vice President, who represented President Bola Tinubu at the graduation ceremony of Course 34 of the National Defense College, says the federal government remains committed to confronting all security challenges in order to ensure a safer Nigeria. He harps on the need to utilize technology in the fight against insecurity.
Africa's security will increasingly depend on productive economies, regional value chains, innovation and industries capable of employing its young population. As the African continental free trade area deepens integration, industrialization must drive inclusive growth, reduce structural vulnerability, and enlarge continental bargaining power.
The African Democratic Congress ADC governorship candidate in Adamawa State, Mr. Omar Suleiman, has rejected a statement attributed to former Vice President Atiku Abubakar recognizing Alhaji Modibo as the party's candidate for the 2027 governorship election. Mr. Suleiman made this known during a media briefing in Yola, the Adamawa State capital. He knows that he remains the duly elected governorship candidate of the party, saying the dispute is already before the Federal High Court. He also stresses that the ADC governorship primary was conducted under the supervision of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, where he emerged winner ahead of Modibo. Some members of the African Democratic Congress ADC in Niger State have expressed strong opposition to the party's proposed same-faith ticket, describing the arrangement as unacceptable and capable of undermining the principles of inclusivity and religious balance. The aggrieved members who voiced their concerns during the protest called on the party leadership and the governorship candidate of the party to reconsider the arrangement and ensure that all religious groups are adequately represented. They argue that Nigeria's diverse religious composition requires political parties to promote fairness, equity, and broad-based representation in their choice of candidates.
Thank you so much, everyone. There you have it, your political roundup stories. Atiku Abubakar, the former vice president and the ADC presidential candidate, is not done with his criticism of the Bola Tinubu government's economic agenda. And he does believe that the Tinubu government does not have an idea or clue on the manner in which the average person will benefit from the economy of the nation. And he believes that they are doing very badly. He's pushing harder on some of the policies that he says if he wins the election will form part of what he will use in restructuring the economy. Today, the former vice president is saying that he will reopen Nigeria's land borders that are still shut and reintroduce policies to ease the importation and movement of goods if elected president in 2027. In the video that we're seeing online, he's been talking about to some party members, insisting that the best way to approach the economy is not what the Tinubu government is doing, but he's got a better idea. On the reopening of the borders, Take a listen to the former vice president and the presidential candidate of the ADC.
The northern states is bordering about Cameroon, Chad, Niger, Benin Republic. And you close all those borders. All our young men who are doing trading in between these countries, they carry goods here across, they do this, and all the, what we call trans-border trade is a legitimate business. All the upcoming young men and women who used to have a capital of 10 million, 20 million, and they were employing 2-3 other people, and then all of them went bankrupt and unemployed. How can there be security? So I said, I'm going to reopen the borders, and I will. During the last campaign, I went across to Europe to discuss with shippers and ship development companies, how can we together develop South and Southeastern ports so that there is balance as far as importation of goods and transportation of goods are concerned.
Atiku Abubakar, the presidential candidate of the ADC. Part of what has become a major conversation over the last few weeks or so is the conversation raised by Atiku Abubakar on his plan in how he's going to reintegrate, reverse or reintegration of subsidy on petrol. Because as far as Atiku Abubakar is concerned, the Bola Tinubu's policy on petrol or subsidy removal has affected and impacted on the bottom line of what affects the average person: food, transportation, purchasing power. He believes that all of those have been impacted, and he wants to help to reinvigorate the small-scale businesses by ensuring that some of these macroeconomic indicators come alive. Again, we've seen the opposition in the last few hours talk about the policies of this government. They say it's knee-jerk, and they do not have a deep thinking approach into all of this. For example, the CNG approach, they say that is not well thought out. The $1 billion poverty reduction program, they say, is only because the opposition is pressing the government of the day hard, and that's why they are making some of these policies. Now, what is the business of Senator Oluremi Tinubu, the wife of the president, in the $1 billion poverty reduction program? Let's speak with the spokesperson of the African Democratic Congress, the ADC, Malam Bolaji Abdullahi, is our guest tonight, and he's live for us here in our Abuja studio. Many thanks for joining us tonight.
Thank you very much. Always a pleasure.
Thank you so much indeed. Yeah. It does look like the campaign season is here.
Yes, like they say in the street parlance, the jungle has matured.
Interesting. So your party is ready?
Oh, we are ready.
But you don't have a campaign team yet?
Yeah, I mean, it's 6 months of campaign, so we'll be deliberate. We don't want to push out a list. At least I have to, like the other people. So
they have a list already.
You mean, do we have a list?
I mean, they have a list.
Yeah, but the
APC has a list.
They pushed out some lists with some people from Kuje prison, from EFCC suspects, and then they took it back, as they usually do, but they have not released another one.
They deny pulling it back. They acknowledge that there are a few things to adjust here and there.
Why? Anyway, I don't want to talk. Whatever they like, they can do with their list. I mean, I don't care.
You have the problem with the APC's list?
No, it's not our business. But the only thing we pointed out is you cannot be approbating and you're a lawyer, I think. So when you sacked people on the grounds of financial malpractices, you say they stole government's money, and you sacked them because of that. Then a few months later, we don't know what happened to the cases. We don't know what happened to the investigation. Then they suddenly showed up in your campaign list. So, and that's why we call that list a rehabilitation center for corrupt people. Because if you do a roll call of that list, you see many of them who are EXCC candidates at one time or the other, and they are the one frontlining the president's campaign. You know, and that is to that extent that we are concerned. But we don't care if they go to Kirikiri and bring people to do campaign for them. It's not our case.
Look at the people that are spearheading the campaign of the APC. Does that give you some kind of concern? Does that bother you? Because these are heavyweight. Senator Yari, the former governor of Zamfara State, he has deep pocket. Senator Hope Uzodinma.
Deep pocket, you said?
Yeah.
Where does that deep pocket come from?
He's the chair of Geregu. Is just.
And where did he? Where did that?
We understand that he has a huge business in gold mining.
Oh, gold mining. Where?
We understand so.
Gold mining where? In Zamfara, in his state. A former governor, richer than his own state. A state that is today #1 in terms of banditry. And you know what gold mining means. You know what? So, you see, we don't even want to talk about this. But you see, the APC is giving the impression that they don't care what Nigerians think. They don't care. But we've always said it that party is a nest of corrupt people. And they have high tolerance for corruption. And the evidence is there. And they just prove it with their campaign list. And it's not just putting them down. It's clear.
And you don't think that these are they've got a team that could move votes for them?
Move vote depends on how they are able to convince.
You look at the Yari, for example. His tentacles. He's a sitting senator, a former governor. Look at what the threat that he posed to Godswill Akpabio. There are those who say if Bola Tinubu, the president himself, did not in the midnight hour go round the senators by himself convincing them, there was no way Godswill Akpabio would have won that election. That kind of person who got a lot of the opposition members on his side against his own party for the #3 seat in Nigeria, doesn't that person?
But sure, the 2027 election will not be contested on the floor of the National Assembly.
I'm just saying the political class.
It doesn't mean this. You see,
he's got his tentacles. He's got his strength.
The political strength is contextual. That's why it's called general election. And it's the people of Nigeria that will decide who they want to vote for. Ayari or whoever cannot tell people who to vote for. Because at the end of the day, they tried everything they could. So at the end of the day, the people will ask themselves. And that's why we said the 2027 election is going to be a referendum on President Bola Tinubu's performance in the last 3 years or 4 years, as the case may be at the time.
So they put Yari on one side, Opus Odima as secretary. So one person from the south, a very strong person also from the north.
So let us leave this matter of their campaign. Please ask me another question.
Because the reason why I'm saying that is that just for the moment, sir.
Yeah.
I don't know if you being a former journalist, I don't know how much of football that you follow. I'm a Chelsea fan.
I'm a Chelsea fan.
You're a Chelsea fan, fantastic. And a lot of the times, you look at the combination of the formation of the back room, of the managerial strength or technical back room of a team, which also presupposes that the strength of that team also is not only the 11 players on the pitch, it's also the technicality and the depth of understanding of expertise of those who are pushing. And that's why I'm asking. And if you look at it, you as a member of the ADC, a lot of people are watching and hoping to see who are going to form your campaign team, because it's very important. Their understanding, their ability to reach out, their ability to garner vote. Other than your flag bearers, who are just the frontliners, they are on the ballot, but the party and the structure and the campaign team also matters a lot. That's why I'm saying that if you are up against, and your party is a major political opposition to the APC. So if you are going into a race, are you not also bothered about the back room, the engine room of the campaign?
See, the analogy you give of football is good. Politics is a game, like they said, but it's not a game of football. Politics is fundamentally different. Election is fundamentally different in the sense that every citizen is a player. And on the election day, every single citizen that is eligible to vote has only one vote. You can pay people money. You can do whatever you want to do. at the end of the day, people will choose who they want to vote for. The responsibility that we have as a political party is to convince Nigerian citizens that we are the right party to vote for, and our candidate is the right candidate to vote for, and to ensure that our votes are not stolen, and to make sure we vigilante it, we protect it. So whoever you bring to be your campaign team is your business. It doesn't concern us, and that's why, with due respect, I'm saying it's not my business.
Really? I mean, I remember the days, and I go back to football. I remember the days of Sir Alex Ferguson and the Manchester United.
You're really in the football mood this evening.
I mean, I used to be a sport journalist. In the latter days of Sir Alex Ferguson, you will discover that once Manchester United is losing a game or they're drawing a game, the man had two jokers.
Okay, what are the jokers?
Ryan Giggs and Jason Park. Once he brings them in at 83rd minute, 85th minute, there are two things that both men will do on the pitch. They keep crossing. They are his jokers at the time. And that's why it's important. Yes, the Nigerian people, the voters, are in play in a political season, in an election season. The technical ability of those who are in the back room to be able to throw up the jokers. I can
assure you that we have our own jokers as well. You know, I sit here across you when they were doing all that they were doing, and at a point it looked like ADC was not going to contest the election. You remember? Yeah. I told you, I said, unless the 2027 election will not hold, ADC will be on the ballot.
You think you are out of the woods?
You said, oh, we are absolutely. And I'm repeating it here. That's not the issue. The point I'm making is that when the time comes, we will be ready. They have their jokers, we have ours. When the time comes, we will be ready. They didn't think we would get this far, but here we are.
The APC thinks that there is no way Bola Tinubu is not going to win this election. They're cocksure.
Are you sure?
They are sure. They tell us. They say it every time. They have 31 governors, they have these, 2023 was tougher, but that in 2027, that the result is already determined. They already know that they will win this election.
Let me ask you.
Does that bother you?
It doesn't. That's why I'm going to say, you see, if they were that sure, if they were that certain, why are they running helter-skelter since we brought up the issue of subsidy?
Are they?
Of course they are. You can see, when last did you hear any governor in APC or the president, as a matter of fact, talk about helping Nigerians to travel cheaper? When did you ever hear them talk about cheaper transportation? They never cared. They are only reacting because the ADC and Alhaji Atiku Abubakar said we are going to reduce the cost of living, and that's our priority, and we are going to introduce production subsidy, and Nigerians accepted that. Nigerians have seen it, that this is an opportunity for them to chase away these people. That's why they are panicking, holding meetings.
Did you hear the president's response?
What's the president's response?
My producer, if you can get President Bola Tinubu's response to Alhaji Atiku Abubakar on subsidy, let me know if you have it ready in the can. And I'll play it to you, because the president believes that your side of the divide lacks knowledge and understanding of the game. You do not even know what.
Oh, yeah, I saw that. You don't even do it. I saw that. You know, yeah.
Let me allow you to listen, and let's refresh the memories of our viewers tonight. The president responding or talking about Alhaji Atiku Abubakar's and ADC's arrangement or their plan in reintroducing some kind of subsidy on petrol. Take a listen.
Okay, let's look at the trajectory of the history. I saw one of my opponents now say we go back to subsidy. I read it. That is demonstration of a serious ignorance on governance and economy. Before I came here, 27 states are unable to pay salaries. Not to even talk of pensioners, salary of workers. In your state, I know a man that raised, whose nickname half salary. They come to the federal, cap in hand, unable to do anything. The salary you pay feeds families. Where are the local governments?
Madam Abdullahi, that is the response of the president. It means ignorance is what is driving your campaign of criticism against his policies.
You see, Sheon, dismissing an idea itself is not an idea. You can dismiss any idea if you want. You can say, you can say something and I say, it's ignorant. You don't know what you're talking about. But what alternative idea am I putting on the table? What we have seen is what APC has done in the last 3 years to Nigeria and to Nigerians. They've ruined livelihoods. And every single analyst and commentator will tell you that the snowballing of poverty in Nigeria since President Bolaji Tinubu came to power is directly consequential on the action they took on the removal of subsidy. By the way, President Bolaji Tinubu, I heard as you played, and the video you should be playing was a video of him condemning President Jonathan, saying that he was enslaved to foreign ideas and that he didn't know what he was doing, that he was wicked, that he was breaking social contracts with Nigerians. You have not seen that video? So what changed? You see, Sheon,
but realistically and legally speaking,
yeah.
I mean, let's put beyond the argument back and forth about whether removal or not removal. Realistically speaking, by execution of time, subsidy will no longer exist. In fact, Buhari did not put any provision for subsidy in the mid of the year 2023. It wasn't. The provision was not just there. So either they like it,
which party is that?
Just a moment, sir.
Which party
I'm
is that?
saying that legally, no matter who entered into office, wouldn't have gotten any subvention, any allocation, any budgetary allocation or appropriation for subsidy. And by the assumption of the PIA regime, subsidy would have had to go. So, realistically speaking, anybody who, and young candidate also agreed that removal of subsidy was imminent, was important in the campaign of 2023.
2023.
Yeah.
Yes. But you see,
let
me tell you. One, what has changed is that this is a different country from 2023. If you earned 70,000 in 2023, you probably need to earn 200,000 today to be able to buy the same thing that you were buying in 2023. Nigerians have suffered, and Nigerians are too poor as a people not to require support in an economy like this. And that's the point the ADC is making, that our economic principle will be anchored on the protection of ordinary Nigerians who are too poor to compete, to be left to the market. So an Alhaji Atiku Abubakar is saying that my strategy for reducing the cost of living is to subsidize crude. And when I subsidize crude and the cost of production goes down, it will reflect on the pump price. That's what he's saying. Now, what is the counter argument? Where will you get the crude? Where will you get the money? But what they are not telling you, they keep saying PIA, and you reference PIA now. But the same PIA, Section 109, if I remember, has what is called this compulsory, compulsory domestic crude supply obligation. Yeah, it's called domestic crude supply obligation. That made it compulsory for oil companies to set aside a certain percentage of their crude for domestic use. So Alhaji Atiku Abubakar is saying that if you don't need to import crude, if we don't need to import petrol, because there were no local refineries in 2023, right? There are local refineries. If you don't have to import crude and you want to produce petrol in Nigeria for the use of Nigerians, what determines the price is how much you buy crude. So if we subsidize the cost of production, then it's going to reflect. So the most important point here that this government is not making is, and this is the question I was going to earlier, this removal of subsidy, Whose agenda is it? Do we even understand the game we are playing? And this is not conspiracy theory. You know, I referenced something last week. President Bolaji, if you remember, in 2022, he said something when they asked him about climate change and what Nigeria is going to do to protect the environment. You know what? You remember what he said in Kaduna? I think it was in October in Kaduna. He said 2022. He said, "How do you stop a church rat from eating the poisoned Holy Communion?" You remember? He said, if the West wants us to comply with this environmental thing, climate change thing, then they need to support us to be able to do it. Now, and that's why I'm asking you, because if you believe that subsidy should be removed, it's ideological. If you do believe that people should be subsidized, petrol should be subsidized, it's also ideological. America, every year they still allocate about $34 billion for subsidizing fossil fuel. $34 billion US every year. And it's getting bigger. And they've done that for 100 years. So what is this thing about? If we mismanaged our own subsidy, if we are not able to efficiently deliver subsidy to the people, that's not an argument against subsidy. It's an argument against mismanagement.
What ideology do you think Mr. Atiku Abubakar stands for?
The ideology of the African Democratic Congress, which is to put citizens first.
Is ADC a government in waiting or simply an Atiku vehicle?
I mean, I don't know why you are asking me these questions, because Alhaji Atiku Abubakar is a member of the African Democratic Congress. And before he emerged as candidate, the African Democratic Congress is very clear about what we are going to do when we get to government. One of the major things we are going to say, and we articulated this in our economic principles, that the ADC will pursue an economic system that puts the welfare and the interest of Nigerians first. And when Alhaji Atiku Abubakar came forward for screening at the presidential screening committee, he signed an agreement that when he becomes the presidential candidate and becomes the president, he is going to implement the agenda of the African Democratic Congress.
I'm asking so, Mr. Abdullahi, strip Atiku Abubakar out of the ADC today, and you ask yourself, what exactly is left electorally with the party? Is this really the transformation of the ADC into a national governing alternative, or has a small party effectively becoming another vehicle for one man's presidential ambition?
No, I don't know the argument you are making, because I don't understand it. And
remove Atiku Abubakar from the ADC. Electorally, what is left of the ADC?
What do you mean by that? What does it mean? I don't get what you mean.
Let me ask you again, sir. In Osun, in Ekiti, in the FCT election, what was the electoral value of the ADC?
I mean, you cannot, and we've repeatedly said this, you cannot use all those off-cycle elections to join the political party. Yeah, I mean,
because your party has been in existence. The secretary of your party is from Osun State, two-time governor of that state. What was the vote of your party in that state?
Do you want to have a conversation, or you want to argue?
I'm having a conversation with you.
No. I won't go down this road with you. Right? The question you are asking me, I don't understand it, and I want you to make it clear to me. If you take hang on, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, if you take him out, what is left of the ADC? That doesn't even make sense to me, because Alhaji Atiku Abubakar today is the presidential candidate of ADC. So the question you are asking me is counterfactual.
I've asked you this question before, and I said, is this about Atiku wanting to become president?
And I've said,
or because the conglomerate of people
you?
There is a better Nigeria that they are pushing for. And that's why I ask you, what is the ideology that you are putting in the hands of Atiku Abubakar
and what did I tell
for Nigeria? You have just stated it, but I'm now pushing further to ask you further that if you look at the past election, immediate past election, Osun, Ekiti, FCT election.
It's not, there's no, I don't see a link between the earlier question about what ADC stands for and the question you are asking me about Osun election.
I'm asking whether
I don't see a link.
This entire idea of the ADC is not just about Atiku Abubakar.
You are asking me about electoral performance. You are asking too many questions at the same time.
I'm asking only one question.
What is just pushing back. Ask one question. What question?
What is the electoral value of your party outside of Atiku Abubakar?
Did Atiku Abubakar contest the election in Osun? Did he contest the election in FCT? Did he connect election in an
How was the
So why are you anchoring? You see, that's why I say you're asking me to.
No, so
so when I answer your question, when I answer your question, you change the parameter
of the ADC.
Why are you stripping Atiku Abubakar of ADC?
Nigerians would like to know right now.
Why are you stripping ADC?
This is not a vehicle only for Atiku Abubakar to become president. That's it.
Why are you stripping ADC of Atiku Abubakar?
Can you tell us,
and why are you stripping Abubakar of
that we
ADC?
can trust Atiku Abubakar and the ADC that this is not an agenda of one man?
I've just answered you. Maybe you were not listening.
I am listening.
No, you are not listening.
I'm listening.
Because I've told you. You are not listening. I told you that before Alhaji Atiku Abubakar emerged as the presidential candidate of ADC, ADC set up 3 committees. One to review his constitution. Another one is a policy committee headed by Chief Oyego, the former governor. You remember that? And the third one, we developed the Orange Book that, in a nutshell, articulates the governance and economic principles of the ADC. And the national chairman of the ADC, Senator David Mark, repeatedly said it, that the African Democratic Congress will not be that party where any elected official will have the discretion to decide what to do with power, long before Alhaji Atiku Abubakar emerged. We're talking about governance principles. We're talking about ethical principles. And when Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, alongside others, emerged and came forward to say they wanted to contest election on we asked them, are you going to abide by these principles and philosophies of the ADC? They say yes, and we give them the document signed.
We just want the commitment that no single man, no big man, no powerful man, we accord to themselves, the Nigeria, like an estate to themselves, and just take over. That's the question I'm asking. But Mr. Abdullahi, my big question about the political and the electoral contest for 2027. You are of the view, and when I pushed it to you earlier, that the Bola Tinubu camp and the APC thinks that they have won the election already. Do you think that the ADC and Atiku Abubakar camp have what it takes to defeat Bola Tinubu? So
absolutely. Absolutely.
Give me the mathematics.
No, it's not about mathematics. And whatever numbers is conjecture. But what I'm telling you, what I can tell you is that we are confident we will win this election because we have Nigerians behind us. And we have the last 6 months to mobilize. We have the next 6 months to rally. So the government that has pauperized Nigerians today is the government of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. They are the ones who have to show a scorecard. They are the ones who will have to tell Nigerians this is what we have done in the last 3 years. And this is the reason you should vote for us. And I can tell you confidently that no Nigerian today, no Nigerian except those who are directly connected to the government, will say their lives have been improved or their lives is better since President Bola Tinubu comes to. And that's the beauty of democracy. And we are saying that, and that's why you see, for us it's quite interesting that, and we deserve the credit for that, even though you don't like to give us credit for what we deserve. Which is that, for the first time in a long time, we are starting this campaign on an issue that concerns most of Nigerians, the issue of subsidy. You have to give us credit for that. Right? So, and that is the point. That's what this government does not want.
Let me look at it. Let me take you. I mean, you have run for elections. You have been at politics at the very highest level. You have been a think tank for political parties in terms of research, documentation, and agenda of the political. So you understand what it means when you are trying to appeal to the sensibilities of every aspect of the nation. Atiku Abubakar garnered 6.98 million votes in 2023. He lost to Bola Tinubu, who garnered 8.79 million votes, about 1.8 million votes over Atiku Abubakar. Peter Obi, separately on his own, of the Labour Party at the time, got 6.1 million votes, while Kwankwaso got 1.5 million votes, largely from Kano. So you say ADC can defeat President Bola Tinubu will.
Yes.
Okay. Show us the arithmetic. Where specifically do the additional 2, 3, or 4 million votes will come from in 2027? Particularly now that Peter Obi and Robbie Kwankwaso are not standing behind Atiku. If you put together 1.45 million votes of Kwankwaso and you put it to 6.1 million votes of Peter Obi, it gives you 6.25 million votes for Atiku. I mean for Peter Obi and Robbie Kwankwaso. Where will Atiku get the 2, 3, 4 million votes that he can use in staying ahead?
Sheon, I listen to you and I can hear what I'm hearing is a lot of assumptions. a lot of assumptions that the figures of 2023 will hold. That because someone scored 6-point-something million votes in 2023, those votes are there to be kept in one corner. Then the question is, how much can you get to add to it? It doesn't work that way, and you know that.
It does.
It doesn't.
It does, and
I
prove you.
No,
I prove that it does.
It does.
Sir,
it doesn't.
Sir, in political and election science, historiography and historical antecedent form patterns for election.
Certainly.
And as you are, sir, you are from Kwara State, and I can say categorically that if you are to get any vote, first and foremost, you talk about your family member, your wife, your children voting for you, your ward voting for you, your local government, your senatorial district, your state voting for you, your senatorial district, North Central voting for you, and that's how election works.
You are talking about numbers. You're talking about numbers.
I'm talking about numbers. I'm talking patterns and historical antecedent matters, sir. Just a moment, sir. Do you think that those who have voted for Atiku Abubakar in the past will still vote for him?
I believe that those who voted for it, there are different categories of people. There are those that no matter what you do, they will vote Atiku Abubakar. Come rain, come high water, no matter whether he promised something or he doesn't promise anything, they will vote for him.
So I'm asking, in 2027, no, you have established my question.
Let me
you have established my question,
you ask questions,
because we have a lot of questions.
You ask questions and you won't allow me to answer it.
You have answered.
I've not answered.
You've gotten to the point that where
what question did you ask me?
I asked you if those who voted Atiku Abubakar in the past will vote for him, and you affirmed that they will.
You were reeling out numbers.
Yeah.
And I asked you that those are based on assumptions.
No, those are not assumptions. Those are facts.
No, I know. There are numbers. There are numbers from the last election. I said, but when you ask me, try to understand. When you ask me whether I think based on the distribution of those numbers as a basis to project into 2027, and I told you that those are assumptions that things will hold. I think economists call it ceteris paribus. And I'm saying that the dynamics have changed. Then you now ask me, do I think those who voted for Atiku at the last election will still vote for him? And I said, and I'm trying to explain to you that there are some people that no matter what you do, they vote for Atiku. Just like there are some people, no matter what you do, they vote for Peter Obi. No matter what, they vote for Bolaji. There are people who just want anybody but Bolaji. There are people who said, "Oh, we voted for Bolaji."
So things will have changed from.
That's why I say the 2020 is a different country entirely.
Like, I want you to explain to us your permutation, and I know that you're expert already breaking down the numbers and working out the numbers. And you know, in America, I remember, and at the time that I was doing my my research program in the U.S., it was an election of Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump. And what happens is that some candidates believe that area is a no-go area. I was doing my program in Wisconsin at the time, and we believe that for some reasons Donald Trump was going to visit. So I was there with my camera crew to capture Donald Trump coming to the city. Well, unfortunately, he cancelled and he sent a proxy because they believe that they cannot go there wasting their time, because they know no matter what they do, these people have made up their minds. And that's how election works. So that's what I'm asking. Where are the areas? Who are the voters? Which state, which region do you think Atiku is going to garner more votes? Where are the votes coming from to defeat Bola Tinubu?
Across Nigeria, from Abia to Zamfara.
Vote for Atiku.
You see, what I'm telling you is that, and that's why I'm saying that the framework you are using, I said earlier that there are some people, no matter what you do, they will vote for a particular candidate. There are some people, based on their experience in the last 3 years going to 4, they will change their mind. They will say, oh, this man, I voted for him in the last election. He has betrayed me. He didn't do what I wanted him to. He betrayed the social contract. I therefore will not vote for him. This time I will vote for somebody else. And the only candidate today that is saying, I will make your life better in concrete terms, is Alhaji Atiku Abubakar. So when you talk about your Wisconsin or whatever, I don't know about your Wisconsin. But what I'm saying is that the experience of Nigerians in the last 3 years had pushed people to the extent that they are saying that anybody but President Bola Ahmed Tinubu because they've seen what has happened.
Is that the popular thing out there?
Oh, you know. I mean, and that's why I'm saying the evidence is very clear. Since we came out, because before now they will say, I listen to some government people, they will say, oh, they dare not come back to say they will return subsidy. They dare not. Okay, we have said we will bring subsidy back. Then they start saying, oh, they start calculating some big trillions to show evidence why we cannot. And we say, okay, let us sit down for a debate. I'm not an economist. You have your economist. We have our economist. We have our presidential candidate. And as a matter of fact, I'm the spokesman of the ADC. Bring the spokesman of the APC. Let us debate this subsidy issue, because that is what Nigerians want to hear.
All right. You have said more things outside of that. But the reason why I'm even asking about these, where the votes will come from, because there are those who are of the opinion that leave Bola Tinubu and any of the candidates one-on-one, he will beat anyone. Bola Tinubu versus Atiku, there are those who think he will beat him. Bola Tinubu versus Peter Obi, they believe that he will beat him. Bola Tinubu versus Donald Duke, they believe that he will beat him. Bola Tinubu versus Adebayo, he will beat him. Versus Showora, he will beat him.
What about Bola Tinubu versus Nigerians?
No, just remember, because
what about Bola Tinubu versus Nigerians? There are those who
believe that if there is a coalition, a conglomerate, the coalition of these opposition groups, that they are capable of beating Bola Tinubu very well. Is Atiku Abubakar and the AC considering coming together? If one major agenda is Bola Tinubu, or anyone but Bola Tinubu, if that's the agenda, is your party and Atiku Abubakar thinking about option?
Okay, let me tell you something. When we started building this coalition, we started on the assumption that if we are able to build a broad-based coalition, it will make our job of beating the APC easier. But that didn't pan out the way we expected. Now, one of the key players, leaders in the coalition have gone to the NDC, and that's His Excellency Peter Obi, and of course Governor Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso as his running mate. We are in the African Democratic Congress. So what I'm saying is that we are going to win. We don't need a coalition to win this election. The African Democratic Congress does not need a coalition to win this election. If we are able to build the kind of coalition that we started, maybe to make our job easier. But we don't need that coalition. We don't necessarily need the coalition to win the election.
Really?
Absolutely, we don't.
Atiku can single-handedly do the job.
I believe so, and that's our thinking, and that's what we are working on.
And say that this is that you guys in the opposition have not.
No. Let me tell you something. We are still having conversations among ourselves, our opposition political parties. And there are different areas. You've heard about the G100. They are mobilizing everyone, still trying to bring everybody together. But the conversation is not about how do we produce a single presidential candidate. The conversation predominantly is about what areas of cooperation is possible. For example, if we are able to develop a common protocol for election monitoring and for policing our votes, that is major. All right.
Give me a moment, sir. No. We need to go on a break. But when we come back, there are other fundamental issues about this election. What we are concerned is who can better the lot of the Nigerian people. And we are probing the activities, the intentions, the agenda, the campaign manifestos of the different political parties and the candidate themselves. What are they thinking? Do they have the mind and the thinking of the Nigerian people at heart? And these are the issues we're discussing. We'll be right back after this break, everyone. Join us here.
Malaria.
Thank you so much, everyone, for staying with us on the program. Bolaji Abdullahi is a spokesperson of the ADC, and he's been speaking with us on the program tonight. I'd like to know, and it's quite intriguing, though, when in that interview that surfaced online, when Mr. Atiku Abubakar is saying that the president is 90 years old. Is that not a fallacy?
Alhaji Atiku Abubakar said it, and he said he has evidence. So,
and do you believe him?
Why not? Why do I not
someone who
believe
served in the newsroom, do you think that could be true, though? I've seen Reno Omokri and the rest who have come out with pictures. For example, picture of Dele Momodu, who is looking almost at the same age with Bolaji.
I don't. You see, I speak for ADC. I don't. President Bolaji. Sorry.
Who is your friend?
Hang on a second. Alhaji Atiku Abubakar said he knows for a fact that President Bola Tinubu is 90, right? And he said he has evidence which he is ready to make available in a court of law if that becomes necessary. He did not make it available to me. He did not make it available to you. So anybody that's going to counter that will have to say, show us the evidence. Go to court and show us the evidence. Or you say, no, you don't have any evidence. So it's not an issue for
1946, meaning it will be 80 before the January 2027 presidential election. Nigeria is one of the world's youngest countries. What is the ADC's argument for asking an overwhelmingly young population to elect an 80-year-old president rather than produce a generational transition in leadership?
But you see,
he brought the issue of the age.
Hang on, we're talking about leadership. And I was in that interview. The question that he was asked was this question you are asking me. The person said, oh, you are this old. And how do you and he said, look, I'm ready. But the person there now, how old is he? He's about 90. So he didn't just set out to talk about President Bola Tinubu.
So your party is comfortable with an 80-year-old being
we're
president?
Absolutely comfortable.
The energy,
that's the best.
his presence of mind, the agility of the soul.
When President Nelson Mandela, I'm not saying Alhaji Atiku Abubakar is Nelson Mandela, but when Nelson Mandela came out of prison, there were younger people in the ANC, weren't they? There were younger people in the ANC, but they knew, the ANC knew at the time, that the kind of person you needed to transition the country in a post-apartheid era is an older person that can manage everybody, that can steer the country in a particular direction. What we are going through in this moment, what Nigeria has experienced, the trauma that Nigeria has experienced in the last 3 years, you need someone of the stature of an Atiku Abubakar, the experience of an Atiku Abubakar to reset the country. And that's why he's saying, look, the situation we have found ourselves, the political climate is too hot. This country has been divided more than ever before. This government, this APC government has divided Nigeria more than ever before. We need to rally the country behind a common development agenda. And these are my ideas of development. So I don't think the issue of, yes, Nigeria is not like, I remember, I think it was Governor Fashola that said it's not about their age, it's about the age of their ideas, not necessarily their biological age.
Let's close the program now. Let's close the program. Quickly, just in about 30 seconds or less. You released a statement about the CNG arrangement of the APC. And you spoke also about the response or the $1 billion plan of the poverty reduction agenda. And you said that those are ingenuine.
No, by the way, thank you very much for bringing that up quickly. After we issued that statement, I listened to I think it was a minister of one minister saying that they don't have that money, but they have a commitment. It was audio intervention. It means that it's phantom. You know this government and phantom things. It was a phantom because they say, no, we don't have the $1 billion. We are only saying that we have commitment of 50% of that. So it's just statement that they hurriedly put out to divert attention from the failure of the subsidy that they have embraced. And the second question we are asking, because at the launch it was the wife of the president and we said, what was her role? What is her official role? What is her constitutional role? Because it was a federal government project. It's not a pet project of the First Lady. Why is she the one that's leading it?
All right.
You know?
We're totally out of time. Malam Bolaji Abdullahi, spokesperson of the ADC. Many thanks. Our conversations never go as straight as we are.
Yeah.
But thank you so much indeed.
Thank you very
much for making that time out. That's our show for tonight, everyone. Many thanks. I'm looking forward to the Sunday conversation at 8 o'clock. And I'm wondering if you are working out for that, because it's going to be an explosive one. Join me at 8 p.m. on Sunday. That's our program tonight. I'm Sean Wakimaloye. God bless Nigeria.